It was September 22, 1979. Deep in the South Atlantic, a U.S. spy satellite detected something that should have been impossible: a nuclear explosion. The satellite picked up a double flash, the undeniable signature of an atomic bomb. The first flash is the fireball, the second is the shockwave. But the location made no sense. It wasn't Russia or China. It was the middle of nowhere, thousands of miles from any known test site. President Jimmy Carter demanded answers. Intelligence agencies looked at South Africa and Israel, but neither claimed responsibility. The Navy sent planes to sniff for radiation. They expected to find fallout and debris. Instead, they found absolutely nothing. No radioactive cloud, no crater. The ocean was clean. This started the biggest cover-up debate in nuclear history. Decades later, the mystery remains. If it wasn't a nuclear bomb that night in 1979, what was it? September 22, 1979. A U.S. Vela satellite detected a double flash of light in the South Atlantic. It was the unmistakable signature of a nuclear explosion. But the Carter administration was in a tough spot. He was working tirelessly on the Camp David Accords. Accusing Israel or South Africa of testing a nuke could shatter the peace. If a nuclear test was confirmed, it would trigger massive political fallout. The White House needed an alternative story, and fast. So they convened a panel of elite scientists known as the Ruina Panel, named after its chairman, Jack Ruina. Their mission wasn't just to investigate. They were tasked with finding a natural explanation for what the satellite had seen. After months of study, they presented a theory that seemed almost too convenient. They called it the zoo animal theory. They suggested that a tiny meteoroid had hit the satellite itself, a piece of dust chipping the lens at the exact moment of a sunlight glint. This micrometeoroid supposedly created a flash that perfectly mimicked the timing and intensity of a two-pulse nuclear explosion. The White House embraced it. They officially declared to the world, it was not a nuclear explosion. It was just a technical glitch. But inside the secret labs of Los Alamos, the scientists who actually built the Vela satellites were absolutely furious. They knew their hardware. They insisted the hardware was working perfectly. The signal was consistent with every other nuclear test they had ever monitored. As the years passed, strange evidence began to trickle in from the most unlikely places across the entire globe. In Puerto Rico, researchers at the massive Arecibo radio telescope looked back at their archived data from that exact moment in 1979. They found a ripple in the ionosphere, a physical shockwave traveling north from the Indian Ocean at thousands of miles per hour. This wasn't a glitch on a lens. This was a massive physical disturbance in the Earth's atmosphere, consistent with a megaton blast. And then, there was the strange case of the sheep in Western Australia, thousands of miles away from the initial flash. Just days after the incident, farmers reported that their livestock were suddenly and inexplicably falling ill. Their sheep were vomiting. When local scientists tested the thyroids of these sheep, they found something terrifying: traces of iodine-131. Iodine-131 is a short-lived radioactive isotope. It doesn't occur naturally. It is only produced by nuclear fission. The wind and rain had carried the fallout from the explosion site in the Indian Ocean directly onto the Australian grazing lands. The evidence was undeniable. The sheep had literally eaten the radioactive remains of a secret nuclear bomb. The zoo animal theory was a diplomatic shield, a convenient fiction designed to protect a fragile peace treaty. History may record it as a mystery, but the science tells a different story. The bomb was real. In 1979, a U.S. satellite detected a mysterious double flash over the Indian Ocean. It was the fingerprint of a nuclear bomb. If it was a bomb, who built it? Declassified documents pointed to a secret project, Operation Phoenix. It's believed Israel and South Africa formed a secret alliance. Israel had the tech. South Africa had the uranium. On that night, a South African warship likely dropped an Israeli nuclear device into the freezing waters. But why was there no radiation? Some say a nearby typhoon washed the fallout away before the world could find it. Or maybe it wasn't a country at all. If they could hide a nuclear blast in 1979, what else are we missing? The Vela Incident remains one of the Cold War's greatest secrets, a flash in the void that changed history. Operation Phoenix, a secret buried in the deep. Some astrophysicists have proposed a wilder theory. What if the satellite saw something entering the atmosphere? A super-bolide meteor, or even a tiny chunk of antimatter hitting the atmosphere would annihilate instantly, creating a massive flash of gamma rays. Or was it a craft? The location is a magnetic anomaly zone, a perfect backdoor for entering the atmosphere without being tracked. 40 years later, the files are still redacted. The Vela Incident remains the only time a nuclear alarm went off, and nobody took credit. Somewhere in the ocean, the evidence is rusting. Or maybe it flew away. I am your host. Watch The Flash. Subscribe.